This is the Ultimate Fighting Chat podcast. Today we're going to be discussing UFC Fight Night, Fight Island 4, Holm versus Aldana. That's Holly Holm versus Irene Aldana, if that's how you say her name. Is it Irene or Irene, or do we know? I didn't notice. I think it's Irene, but I don't know. Anyway, this is at the Flash Forum on Yas Island, on Fight Island, in Abu Dhabi. And this was on Saturday, the 3rd of October in Ingers. Commentators, Brendan Fitzgerald, Paul Felder, and Dan Hardy, who we just mentioned. Look, the truth is, we weren't completely wrong because we were questioning, has he been done, right? But we did also say, the reason he even came up was, I'm sure he's in Fight Island, but what for? So now we know what for, right? He was actually doing the broadcast.
That's right, yeah. It's just because wasn't he there for the previous event, and he didn't do any chats. It was just Felder and was it Anik or Fitzgerald? And so we thought, as Herb Dean gone in there and said to Dana White, listen, you red fart, if you give that guy with a rubbish new Barnet a job on the commentary desk, I'm gonna kick him. That's one of the main things I want to talk about.
Same here.
His new hairdo is...
I took a shot of it.
He's one of those guys that looks pretty cool, right? He's always looked cool for his career and everything. This is his first big fashion faux pas. That, as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't been able to get a haircut because of all the new COVID stuff.
Look, I don't always going through the phase like I am, just the in-between Barnet, right? Because I took a shot.
So. It's quite long. It was quite long, but it's really greasy on one side.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to say, no, I didn't notice. So I took a shot of it just in case, going, he must have noticed this, because from one side, it looked normal-ish, right?
Yeah.
When he turned to the other side, bloody awful. Grease.
It was his left side. It was his left side. So when he was interviewing fighters and he was standing on the right side of your screen, his hair from that angle was Listen, I've got the worst hair in the world, right? Because obviously it's all patchy.
It's just a different style.
Well, I don't have any hair, let's say, so you can't get it, it can't be that bad a hairstyle because I haven't got anything to style. But, you always ask me, when we see people with rubbish haircuts on the street, and you go, would you rather have your bald head or that hairstyle?
And you can't change it. You have to have that exact style.
You've got to keep that. Would you rather have Paul Weller's hair or have your bald head?
Do you remember we saw that Weller in the kebab shop? That was one of the worst.
And the Tesco. There was a guy serving Tesco at
in the garage,
Yeah, and more often than not, I'll say I'll take the person with hair because it's just like, well, at least they've got something. But yeah, this Dan Hardy, I'm not sure I'd have that Dan Hardy.
And he was on telly with it.
Yeah, and he's got
bad qual.
He's got lockdown bod and all, hasn't
he? Yeah, but it's understandable, isn't it? Yeah, ain't we all? Roque has.
Yeah. Not all of us, but Roque used to look like ravishing Rick Rude up until lockdown, and then
exactly. So I'm glad you noticed his Barnet. I don't know how you would miss it, but
terrible. Yeah,
it would just. There were certain angles, not just his left side. There was a certain angle from the front. If it was straight, it weren't so bad. But all he'd have to do is slightly tilt towards Fitzgerald, and bang, it had like a quiff down it.
Yeah, so it had a little wave in it that went across his forehead. Yeah. And it looked all stringy and greasy.
Yeah, it was all greasy. Boiling hot out there, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But, Felder didn't look all greasy and
all right. Well, it was messy grease. There's bad
performance from Hardy. Bad performance from him.
It was, yeah. And Karen Bryant was the one doing the Olivi Androl bits.
Great.
Nah, rubbish. You know what? She, to me, is another Anik. She has a broadcaster voice. She doesn't speak normally. It's fake. There's another one. I was watching the other day. I saw Jimmy Smith came on telly, right? And I was listening to him chat, and I went, I'm going to have to mention this to him because, honestly, there's no way. I almost took a vid of it, just send it to you. There's no way he talks like this normally. When his kids come home and his wife comes in, he does not say, and so how was work today? He doesn't do that. It was the whole chat wasn't normal. It was all a fake voice. I mean, Beeps would hate him, right? He don't like people doing fake voices. And if you remember, he blazed someone for that once, for being fake and not talking normal to him, putting on a fake accent. I think it's fake. And Bryant's like that for me. She has Anik-style broadcast chat. It don't sound like her. I mean, I don't know what she talks like normally because I only ever see her on telly. It don't sound normal to me.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have a massive issue with that because, you know, if I go to a job interview, for example, I'll probably, you know, I won't wander in and go, you know, hello mate, how's it going? You know, I wouldn't walk in
You
like
would.
that. You know, you do. Nah, you do
You
kind
would.
of. No, you do make sure you pronounce your T's a bit more. You know.
What, so if they said, do you want a glass of, would you want a drink? Would you say, oh, no, yeah, yes, please, I'll have a glass of water? Or would you say, yes, please, I'll have a glass of water? What would you do? Do it. Yeah, let's do it now, right?
Oh, no,
No,
you
no,
can't
no,
do anything
no.
right. It's
No,
up.
no, no.
If you give me enough work, just give me a
No,
mini.
no. We'll do that one because that's a legit one that would happen. That would happen, right? Now remember.
No. It wouldn't.
No,
It wouldn't because
remember.
I always reject the
Yeah,
first
but you're
drink.
not rejecting.
You know that. That's one of my rules.
Okay,
I
but you're
never
not
accept the
rejecting it,
first
right?
drink. So if
And
they
there's
said you
nothing
want a
else.
glass of water,
No, there's nothing else on offer. There's no Coke, no tea, right? So you've got to remember.
no, I just wouldn't have a drink.
No, yeah, but you're gonna this time, right? This is just it's one that could happen, right? Thanks for coming in. Nice to see you. Would you like a drink at all?
No, I'm right, thanks.
Oh. No, not real. Not what you would actually do. You've got to imagine that you want some. You know, you want a drink, right?
All right, I'm gasping. Yeah, all right.
Would you like a drink at all before we get started?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, what would you like?
You got any H2O? I just don't want to. I don't want to say water because that one does sound
right.
Poncy to say water.
You've got to be yourself, exactly. But they ain't. Yeah, I don't think they speak
what
like
I'm
that.
saying is, whenever I've had an interview, I have always tried to make sure that I don't go in there and go, you know, hello mate, how's it going? You know, like that. You know, you do kind of go and go. I don't know. I've never been one who's ever gone to meet you because that always seemed false to me. Because I was always like, I'm not pleased to meet you. I don't want to be here, and I hate the fact I've got to, you know, answer these stupid questions. So I never say pleased to meet. I never used to say at the end, you know, it was nice to meet you. I never used to say that crap.
You've never said
that
it's nice to meet you?
No.
I think I have said.
Look, I might have done at some stage in my life, but what I'm saying is, you know, it wasn't a run of the mill thing. I used to go to job interviews and go, you know, it was nice to meet you or anything like that. I just kind of like go, see you later.
Right.
Yeah, no wonder I didn't get many jobs, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, you didn't do a good job of selling yourself, and your broadcast voice obviously was crap. It didn't work.
Well,
you know what? I would have seen through that. See, as the employer, I would have seen through it and gone, this guy, he's doing a Jimmy Smith, Karen Bryant, and an Anik. He's not being himself. I don't want him like this. I want the real. I want to see what and hear what I'm actually going to get when you turn up for the job. I don't want some fake, stupid robot, non-real voice version. Crap.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're, if you like, broadcast now. I know we're only having a chat, and we just put it out there. If anyone,
that's exactly it. Yeah, you've said it. That's the premise of the show.
But I don't, you know, I don't sit here going, oh, I didn't pronounce that word properly, or I need to, you know, do an Anik and say, you know,
maybe
they
you
were
should.
fighting.
We'd get more views.
Well, yeah, I don't think that's the reason people don't listen.
Don't you?
It's probably because we chat about Dan Hardy's hair rather than the fights for about 20 minutes. But
maybe.
But yeah, I don't change my voice that much, but I do think there is a conscious effort in certain scenarios to just you know, kind of perhaps your accent a little bit, just because it can come across a bit like you're. It's not the fact there's any issue with accents, right? 'Cause who cares? It's more the fact that you're showing you're trying to be clear, concise, and making an effort, and you appreciate the environment you're in. That's all it is.
You enjoy them then. You enjoy it. I don't like it.
No, I don't. As you know,
I'm glad you're being yourself with me, because I couldn't handle it. If we did this and you done a change, I'd have to say, you know, I don't give you any feedback. That's not what this is about. Because you talk to me like you would if we were on the phone or in the flesh. It's the same. But if you did a change, I'd have to say to you, now listen, this ain't the agreement. I just want the same bloke. I don't want changes. And I mean, if you were on a broadcast, if I gave you the job, because obviously I run things, if I gave you the job at UFC, right, I'll give you a weed one, just the Bryant one, yeah, and the Andro and the Oliva. I'll just give you that one where you got to stand on the side of the cage and do chats.
Yeah.
Would you change your voice then? I mean, say change your voice. That's too extreme a comment, isn't it? Would you? Okay, let's try it. So just
I'll tell you what.
No, we'll give it a test. I'll do one
right.
and you do one, right? Think of something to say. We'll do exactly the same comment of this guy's on a 5. Let's do it. Right. This guy, you don't have to say guy. This person fighter is on a 5-fight win streak, and they hope to get another win tonight. That's it, right? Here's mine. Yeah, this guy's on a 5-fight win streak, and he's hoping to get another win tonight. That's mine. Let's have yours.
You actually made it a little bit more tonight. You don't say tonight like that.
Well, there you go.
Went
then.
the other
well, there
way.
you go.
You went the other way. You tried to be extra unprofessional.
Right. So there you go. Then. So you're admitting that I did a change, right? And I'm telling you I wouldn't, right? I'm telling you I wouldn't. And you said, because I did it straight away off the cuff. I didn't wait. I didn't go and do High School Musicals. I just did it straight away. And you said it there. No, you did do a change. So fair enough. So now yours. Remember, he's on a 5-fight win streak. He's hoping for another win tonight.
This fight is on a 5-fight win streak. He's hoping for another win tonight.
Oof, you're right. That's why you didn't get them job interviews. Jeez, that's too normal. Well, I mean, it's like you weren't bothered. It's like
you just told me to be natural, so I said it natural. Now I'm getting told that my natural's crap.
Well, your natural is like, why have I got to read this out? That's what your natural is. That's no good. You've got to show some enthusiasm.
Well, look. Like I say, I have had that criticism all my life, innit? That I'm unenthusiastic, monotone, boring. There you go. So anyway, on with the podcast.
All right. Okay. No worries. Well, fair enough. So the only things I've got to say is I've told you who the commentators were. I've told you who was doing the Olivi bits. Don't know why they're now called that. I haven't told you who the announcer is, but I'm going to now. It was Joe Martinez. And the long streak of Ingers was back as well.
What, the tall bloke?
Yeah.
Was it?
He was back in it. So you didn't see him.
Didn't notice him.
No, mate. He's way above that cage level. I mean, he was there.
Yeah, I know. He looks like he'd make Struve look like a, school kid or something.
Does, yeah. Unbelievable, Gizzer.
Yeah.
So
he needs to do something about that.
If you want to get straight into it, I don't know what we're going to do. We will do what we normally do. We'll do prelims and main card. If it goes on too long, we'll split it, right? That's the honest version. Okay, wait a minute, right? But but it might be quite nice, even if it's short, to go, okay, well, we'll put a shorter podcast out, right? So let's just see, right? We might be able to squeeze it all in one, but I don't think we should. I think we should do 2, but let's see anyway, right? So we'll start with the prelims like we normally do.
Yep.
No, we won't. No, we won't.
No, we
won't. We'll start with just overall. You don't have to give me out of 10s or anything like that or ABCs. I'm not asking for that. Just overall, what did you reckon of this? Did you enjoy it or not?
No, I hated it.
I thought it was crap as well. Yeah.
We've chatted before about, you can never judge a card until it actually takes place, because there have been cards before where I've gone, don't know many of these guys, but then you get some real nice news sort of talents that you uncover or some good fights. And,
we like finding out about new fighters and chatting about new blokes we've never heard of, right? I'm all good with that as well.
This was one where I'd go, I don't have to give, whatever 3 or 4 performance of the nights. I'll keep some money back and then, give some extra ones to some events that deserve it. This was a struggle to watch for me, not because it was, there wasn't much notoriety in the fighters that were on it. It's just because the fights weren't very good. And also you combine that with sort of no atmosphere. That's the other thing, right? If you get some fights that aren't that great, but there's maybe a good atmosphere, it can help maybe raise it up a little bit. This had no atmosphere, so it was laid naked. It was just the fights, exposed for what they were, and they weren't very good. I can't think of one fight that I actually enjoyed. But as we run through them, maybe I'll go,
there was a couple I didn't mind. But yeah, I agree. Let's see when we go through whether there was stuff that we might end up going, look, this weren't too bad. But on the surface, it looked like it was going to be crap. And it weren't very good. So the first fight on the prelims, the very first fight, because I believe we've seen them all this time. Did you not watch the
Not yet. I ain't seen the first 2 fights.
You
Your
stupid
commentary team
drip.
said they're good. Hey, here, I'll take the lead on this. You've seen them. How were they? Let's start off with. I'll do your bit. Luigi Vendramini.
No, it's not Luigi
Jessin
Vendramini.
Ayari.
No, it's Luigi, the Italian stallion Vendramini from Brazil.
Okay.
No.
Oh, all right, yeah. No, well, I quite like that, yeah.
Okay, but okay, well there you go. All right, and versus Jessin
Ayari.
He didn't have a nickname. German fella. Look, I can't really chat to you about it. You never watched it.
No, but just tell me, what did you think? Did you like either of the guys? Was the finish good? Just tell me that.
Vendramini won by TKO, and you know what? It was quite good. He'd done a really tight, close head kick. He had the bloke up against the cage, the Italian stallion, and he was blazing him anyway. And then he managed to squeeze out a head kick while he's right next to him, which was good. It showed a lot of dexterity. You know, it made me think he's got something about him. You know, not necessarily the best idea. The fact that he got his leg up there when he was that right next to him, I thought was quite good. But he did a Powers screaming win celebration, which it's a shame you ain't seen it. It was really too much. It wasn't a Crom good one. It was just, you know.
Made with 100% British and Irish beef.
Look, what's that you've played now?
I'm putting on the knockout.
Oh, okay.
Mate, you told it to me. I put it on, but I just got done by the advert beforehand.
All right, well, fair enough.
He looks like a Brazilian Chris Weidman, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's not that. He's the Italian stallion, told you.
Well, no, yeah, I know he is, but I'm just saying he looks like a.
Well, he won. And
Ayari just threw an all right looking. Oh, he's a bit open, isn't he? This Ayari. Oh, he's all running back to the cage doing Pappy at Beddies.
Listen.
He's trying to do Anderson Silvers on the cage.
I know.
Yeah, and he got.
But this isn't a fight companion, you know, having you talk about it while it's playing. You know what I mean? You've blown it. You're supposed to watch these fights first.
I just wanted to see knockout quickly.
No, I appreciate that now, right? Anyway, I'm not going to talk anymore about it. There weren't much to talk about anyway, really. But it was all right. That was okay. You know, these two fights that you haven't seen are probably the two best fights on it. I ain't joking.
Well, let's get on to the second fight because it's Casey Kenney.
No, well, first off, no, you can't. Okay, Casey Kenney, yeah. This is the Mongolian Knight.
Okay, defeated
from China. No, wait.
Right, yep. Okay. So there's people who are just struggling a little bit with nationalities here.
Yeah.
Good record though.
Alatengheili, yeah. Favourite was Kenney in this one, and Kenney won by unanimous decision. Now, I don't understand the Alatengheili is the Mongolian Knight from China, but whatever. Kenney also thinks he can make Kenney a surname just because he put an E at the end of it. And that ain't real.
It's because he's from Inner Mongolia, which is in China.
Ooh, Casey Kenney?
No, Haile Alateng.
Oh, right. Anyway, like I said, Kenny's decided that Kenney can be a surname just because he's put an E in it. That's not a real thing to do.
Yeah, sounds silly.
Yeah, it's a stupid idea.
It's one of those pet hates of mine, you know, when people have surnames that are first names. They have double first names.
True.
Like Chris John.
God, there's one that someone used to do in the office. What was his name? Right, I can't remember now, so we won't do it. Right, I can't remember. Yeah, I don't like those double ones, you know, either.
Yeah.
So this was my favourite fight on it.
All right. Even though it was a shutout for Kenney?
He was a shutout for the Kenney, yeah. He's good. He threw a lot of body kicks. And all the body kicks he was throwing, not all, most of them, 90%, 95% of them, a lot of them, most of them were landing with the toes, right? And obviously a lot of people say that they're weed power if it's with the toes because you can hear the slap and not the thud and all that. But the reason these can be a good strategy is because it gives you that little bit of extra distance. Right, helps you avoid the obvious counter, the straight cross as well, because you're away. You know, you're sort of keeping your distance a bit, and because he just kept throwing them, it also means you're less likely to get injured with it. But he was good. He was very good, actually. I'd say this Kenney. He's really active, giving Alatengheili no time to think about anything or counter anything. He was just all over him, non-stop, for the whole 3 rounds. The only thing I would say, this is, for his coach, really, who's listening.
Of course he is.
Yeah, of course, yeah. All Kenney's kicking attacks came from the left. Inside leg kick he threw, body kick he threw loads, head kick he threw, all from the left. And all I'll say is that can become a bit predictable. So, I don't know what was coming. I at least know which side it was coming, right? Gives me plenty of time. Unless I get taken out by that, it gave me plenty of time to figure out what to do about this. He did it for 3 rounds. So he was good. He was good. I'm not joking. He was really good. But it was a bit against the punch bag, if you like. And with someone who maybe was a bit better, they would have and could have survived it. Because this is one thing I'll give to that. What's his name again? Alatengheili. The one thing I'll give to this guy, I know people don't like this one, and we don't particularly like it, but I mean, I can't believe the beating he took, especially those kicks. These ribs were red raw, mashed up. I don't know how he even takes one of them, let alone, I can't remember how many it was. They did say, it was a lot of kicks to the body. Loads.
He took a Mongolian knight, that's why.
Well, yeah, but he took them all, right? So he's qual. But somebody better, with better fight IQ, might have figured out. You had plenty of time. You had 15 minutes of the same thing going over again to figure out, I know, I can fix this. Down to his corner as well, right, to tell him how to fix it and go, look, all he's doing is throwing left inside leg kick, left body kick, left head kick. That's all. It isn't all he did, by the way. He did do plenty of punches as well. I'm just saying they were his main forms of attack when he was at distance. So it could have been figured out. If I was Kenney, I'd watch out for that being over predictable, but I think he's good.
Well, what if I told you, because I don't know, you may already know this, but
and if I was the ref, right, I'd have no issue if that fight got stopped at some point on those body kicks, even though he didn't react to them, he didn't go down. I'd have had no problem if he went, nah, enough's enough, man. You're just going to keep standing there taking these body kicks. I wouldn't have an issue with it. Not straight away, but once his ribs were, I don't know. I don't know if they're busted or what. But yeah, it was a good fight, that. Enjoyed that one.
Well, what if I told you as well
All right.
that you may know this already, but you may not. He's won 4 of his 5 UFC fights. You may know that already, Kenney.
No, I don't know, no.
A couple of his victories, he holds victories over Ray Borg, who we both think is good, and Brandon Royval, the Prince Royval. No, sorry, not the Prince. Raw Dog.
Yeah.
The Raw Dog Royval. So he holds a victory over Royval, a recent one as well.
And everyone's going on about him, and no one's ever mentioned Kenney.
Yeah, I mean, he's he was the LFA bantamweight champ, and LFA is a decent promotion, so that definitely holds some sort of credentials. So he beat Royval for the championship. He actually won the LFA flyweight and bantamweight championship. He's
brilliant. I told you.
So
I didn't know any of this. I told you he was good.
Yeah, so there's he's got the only defeat was against Merab Darashvili.
He gets on my wick. He does.
But one thing I'll say about him, he's got a good engine on him. He's rough, he's tough, he's strong.
I didn't say he was a crap fight. I said he got on my wick.
No, I know, but he's handful, isn't he? Like
definitely. But the whole combo, him and Sarah, they get on my wick. I like Sarah, by the way. I'm just saying that combo of him in the corner and him chatting about Merab gets on my wick. It's like, all right, so what? And he's a bit of a Dodson, but better, but obviously a better fighter. He gets on. If he's in, if I was at gym with him, I'd be, listen, I ain't got energy for this today, Merab, and you ain't going to give me.
He can't be as annoying as Dodson. Impossible.
I'm just saying he's getting on me wick.
All right.
So anyway, so he was good, and this is why these cards are good, right? Normally I wouldn't have seen that fight because it was on the Fight Pass prelims, but I've seen it now, and I've just told you it was for me, the best fight on the card. So it goes to show you, didn't know either of the blokes, now know both of the blokes, know the bloke who got done and all, and I enjoyed it. So that's why it's good, and it's good to chat about them as well, because I will be looking forward to Casey Kenney's next fight to see what goes on. We'll see. But yeah, it was quite good. Next fight, Loma Lookboonmee versus Jinh Frey. Now, if you hadn't have seen this fight, by the way, Loma Lookboonmee and Jinh Frey, if you don't know, I know you've seen the event, they're women, but you know, who knows with them names, you know what I mean? God knows. But it's both women, so it's a strawweight fight. And the first thing I'm going to say is the referee was Mark Goddard. Now, when I say it was Mark Goddard, he walked out. Yeah? And it said Mark Goddard. But on the screen, it came up as Kevin Satake. Now, I've caught quite a few of these little mistakes, these stabs that have come up. And I still don't know who to tell about this, because we've had the ones where I said, it said he was a favourite and he weren't, he was the underdog or whatever. Yeah. No, so there's been a few things I've brought up. Listen, no one. Goddard walked out. And by the way, there's another mistake later, and I'll bring it up when it comes up. Goddard walked out, but it came up on the screen, Kevin Satake. And I was like, this guy does need a word. So I don't know why they're not noticing it, but he needs a word, he does. So
it's done as a he for a start. Could be a.
What are you trying to say? It would be more believable that there'd be so many mistakes if it was a woman.
No, I'm just saying that it could just as equally be a woman as a man. That's the only point I'm making.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah. What point is it?
You've had to explain yourself.
Yeah, only because you like some hypersensitive teenager jumped all over it.
You questioned me.
But
you were hypersensitive, standing up for women's rights. No, you were hypersensitive.
No, because you were saying because you were saying with dead certainty that it's a fella.
I didn't say that. I didn't say it was for dead certainty.
Someone needs to have a word with him.
That's right. I did say that. That's just a natural way of talking. And you had to stand up for women's rights.
No, I didn't stand up for women's rights.
Yeah. You probably got one of them blokes goes to those marches with banners and all that. If you was the employer, you'd make sure you've got a woman in there and all that. Listen, I never done that wrong. It was just natural. But you had to. You were hypersensitive and pulled me up on it.
I just pointed out. I didn't go.
Why did you point it out? See, this is what I say about you, the know-it-all. This is the problem.
Not know-it-all.
This is what you do with pronunciations, spellings, and all of that. And you've done it again.
No, I haven't. I'm just saying it could easily be a woman that is incompetent as a man that's incompetent. So,
yeah, but I didn't. You see, I blamed the man, but you went, no, a woman can also be incompetent. Don't you know that? So
right.
I don't. So you're not standing up for women.
Yeah, you live with one, you know. So anyway,
well, I know they're crap.
Lookboonmee.
And anyway, speaking of women and whether they're good or whatever, if you hadn't seen this fight, what would you say the result was?
Well, that's going to come up later on because there is a bit of a spanner in the works with that theory later on. But yeah, I mean, it had this. I actually thought after the first round that Lookboonmee might have got her out of there.
Agreed.
But obviously that didn't transpire. But what I will say is that in between rounds, when I think that Jinh Frey will be a bit looking back on it, will go, why didn't I try and grapple a bit more? As in shoot for takedowns, because she obviously secured one in one of the rounds, and who knows,
I know
maybe
why.
She's not very good.
No. Well, actually, I do think she was all right, even though she got beat.
Well, so do I. I actually thought both of them were okay.
I think me too, right? I actually thought they were. But the reason she didn't wrestle much is because to wrestle, you've got to get in close. And pretty much every time that she got in close, apart from once when she did actually take her down, I remember, she got stuck in a clinch and got kneed and elbowed quite bad. Now, that just goes to show that the technique was wrong. So obviously she needs to get a bit lower so that you can't be kneed and elbowed and then drag her down. But the point is, whenever she closed the distance, she ended up losing that battle because she had the clinch. Yeah. To me, it was bad.
That's what I liked. That's what I liked about the Lookboonmee. I thought her leg kicks were sort of snappy and decent enough.
Yeah.
Both of their sort of hand strikes. Let's say their boxing wasn't the sharpest I've ever seen, but that's sometimes to be expected. But the clinch.
Why is it to be expected? Woman or UFC or MMA fighter? I mean, I've given you
just a little bit.
I shouldn't be feeding you. I asked you a question. I shouldn't be feeding you things because you might use.
Yeah, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, a little bit of column C. But yeah, I really liked those elbows from Lookboonmee. She was really active with them.
Yeah,
she was. looking to do damage with them. I actually thought she was pretty good. I actually quite liked her, but to me, that I think Frey will probably. By the way, when they calling her Frey, her name ain't Frey. It's Frey.
Well, I agree. I think they were calling her
If her
Frey.
name's Frey, take the E out.
Yeah,
Stop messing around.
exactly.
Right?
Kenney can get away with it, right? Because it's pronounced the same whether it's got the E at the end. You know, Kenny is the same as Kenney, which is why we know there's no such thing as a surname version of Kenney, right? But you can't tell. If you want to be called Frey, you better get rid of that E.
Yeah, or put it on the end.
Yeah, you can put it on the end, yeah.
Yeah, like Don Fry. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Lookboonmee was all right. To me, though, that the thing in this fight was the Frey. I'm calling her Frey. Frey's corner was the fella who was talking to her.
Oh,
I didn't like his chats,
nor did
and
I.
she let me hear you say it back to me. Now I understand why people got in there. That's a technique. I understand that it's supposed to show that your fighter's engaged.
Doesn't work with her,
they're
though.
actually taken on board, and but honestly, I thought, and I could be well wrong, obviously, but I thought Frey was looking at her fella who was giving her, the advice in between rounds. And if I could read mind, if someone said to me, "What do you think this woman's thinking at this exact moment in time?" I think running through her head, she'd be thinking, "This guy is such a knob."
Well, that's what it looked like to me. That was the face that she was pulling.
Honestly, she had a face where I was like, she looks like she basically wants to almost like, when you're being told off by a teacher at school and you kind of want to roll
I didn't
your
get
eyes.
told off at school. I also didn't go and trespass on golf courses and steal golf balls and nick my dad's golf clubs. I didn't do that either.
Still golf balls found lost and missing golf balls.
Yeah, all right. Well, what about if I own that golf ball? I now can't re-find it.
What am I supposed to do? Put up a sign on all the lampposts saying, "Have you, missing golf ball? Have you lost this
How about
golf
just leave it there so that when the
no, because they've moved. They ain't going to come back and look for it.
Well, how do you know that?
It's lost.
It's just lost, is it? How is it lost?
It's in the middle of the woods.
It doesn't matter. They know that's going to happen when they strike the ball. It's not necessarily going to go straight.
I don't know. Look,
really bad. It is.
Nah, you're joking.
What?
Not wrong with it. But anyway, I thought.
Well, I know a kid. Ian, a kid. He's in his 20s. Bunhead is his name. He done a similar thing with a football. I didn't like that either. And I told him so.
Yeah, it's funny because I seem to remember being there with you once, and you were actually saying to him, "Come on, reach over."
No.
Grab that one.
No.
Yeah, there's a whole defence down there. I remember you trying to get these footballs.
I wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't do that, and I've told him so. I'm trying to teach him, and it's crap. So shouldn't do it, and you shouldn't do it either. But you've got an excuse. You're even more of a kid.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. But
just told me you used to get told off at school.
No, not. But the Frey, I thought the thing I liked about her is she actually looked athletic. The physique was good. It was quite impressive. She looked like somebody who could improve and get a bit better over time, and maybe string some wins together. But Lookboonmee looks all right.
She did. What do you mean? Looks all right. What, fighting?
As in, fighting abilities.
Right, no worries. Okay. Well, Frey, I actually didn't like her striking at all. And I'll tell you why. Because all she threw mostly was straight crosses, no jabs, and she also threw quite a lot of lead hooks. So her striking was actually getting on my nerves. What the coach should have said, instead of, how bad you want to win this fight and all that, he should have said, why don't you try throwing some jabs before you throw that cross? Why don't you try and throw some jabs before you throw that hook? Why don't you just try and throw some jabs, full stop? Why don't you just try that? Because I'm sure she's done that in training. So I didn't like her striking at all. So she needs to learn from this.
She made the fight quite easy for Lookboonmee. And
she
did.
Need
to be as it was for her.
She did. If you do nothing, it's quite simple, right? If you do nothing, you don't win. She did nothing and didn't win. At the time, she did something, right? Because I am right. There was a takedown there, right? She took her down, I think.
That's
once.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So when she did that, mixed it up.
Too much with it, but she did take it down.
But she did something. Then you can see there's an avenue to win. But if you do nothing, you lose. That's it. But I do think the reason she did nothing is because that Lookboonmee was pretty good and shut her down, didn't allow her to do much. So honestly, wasn't a bad fight. That
Yeah, it was good enough. Yeah.
not as good as Kenney, which you hadn't seen. Next fight then, Jourdain, Bomai, Williams, 9-3 record versus Nassourdine, Imavov, 8-2. So Imavov won this one by unanimous decision. Anything to say about this one? Yep.
Well, I actually forgot about this fight. This was the
You forgot about this fight.
Yeah, I mean, which is weird because this was probably the best fight on the outside of, because I haven't seen the Fight Pass prelims. This is probably the best fight out of the rest of the card.
Yeah, I know why you're
that,
saying it. Yeah,
and that Imavov, if I've got his name right there, that Imavov, he said beforehand. I don't know if you saw in the little beforehand, he said he was bringing completely unique striking style to the cage. Words to that effect.
All right.
And so when I heard that, I thought, all right, let's see. Now, obviously, he didn't. I wasn't expecting him to, and he didn't. But I will say, is for a new middleweight guy, I thought he was pretty. And that Jordan Williams, to me, he looked a little bit like a middleweight Lionheart Smith. Now, Lionheart Smith's gone up to light heavyweight, as in he looked like a guy that can outgrind, out tough a lot of people. I wasn't armoured with his skills or his, looked like Imavov should have got him out there towards the end. He was a little bit reckless, a little bit wild, a little bit open, but certainly game strong and determined, we know. And as Forrest Griffin knows, can carry you quite a long way. But I thought that Imavov showed a lot of stuff where I went, this guy's decent.
Agreed. I think he's quite good as well. There was a load going on in this fight. We had, normal striking, clash of heads, knees to the sack, wrestling, a lot of grappling and wrestling. I thought this was all right, and I did quite like the look of him. The third round was terrible. Neither of them had breath. It was just not a very good third round. But yeah, it was all right, that fight. Not bad.
I think it was probably the best fight. It was the most closely contested. As you said, the clash of heads. At first I thought that guy got wobbled, but then it was a clash of heads, and luckily he recovered from it. Because it would have been a shame if he lost, or say by a TKO.
Yeah, because we've seen that happen before, haven't we? Benavidez got done by Figueiredo because of a clash of heads. So then they had to run it back, and then he got done without a clash of heads, like even quicker. Yeah. I mean, he got blazed out.
Yeah, I think he got. Then you get like choked out 3 times and knocked out 4 times in this round. But yeah.
Yeah. But I wonder if Olivi was doing bits on that one.
Yeah, I wonder if she was standing on the cage in leopard print top, chatting about who he's been training with.
Horrible you are.
But the thing is I liked that Imavov guy. I think he's middleweight division isn't particularly overly populated with talent-wise, is it, at the moment? So he's definitely someone who could make a little bit of noise, let's say. If I want to use a little bit of dynamic, make a little bit of noise.
It was a bit of a, professional speak. Told you not to change your natural style, right? No one else likes it, but don't worry, no one else is listening.
What about? Well, yeah, that's true. But I'd like to see that that Imavov. He reminds me a little bit of that Sharbazian guy. Like skill wise, got a little bit of everything. But can I ask you something? He very well may be, yeah. Where the hell is Brad Tavares?
No, I don't know. Probably recovering from getting smashed out all the time. He is brilliant, but
he is really good. Yeah. But I think that'd be quite a decent matchup. Maybe a little bit, too early or not.
You need to stop using Tavares for smash outs. Out of order is the truth. I like him.
I like Tavares loads. He's a real good test as well for people. I think to see whether.
Yeah. I'm sure he likes being that. I'm sure he likes being the gatekeeper. Well,
he's not a gatekeeper, but...
you basically just said he was.
Well, stop getting smashed out by people who are in the top 10 then.
That's true.
Ain't my fault.
That'll help, wouldn't it? Yeah.
But I really like Tavares, and he just don't fight enough.
He's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, the after-fight interview.
Yeah, if he's listening, which I know he is.
Yeah. There's no need to say if,
Get on the phone to Dana or tell Safer or whatever to stop holding pads and kicking shields and
get him a fight,
yeah. Sort out a fight. It's his job.
Of course it is. So the after-fight interview in the cage with Grease, right? Once he chatted to him, you might not have noticed this bit, but he literally just walks off. It was really arrogant. I first went, well, it might be a virus thing, keep me distance, see you later, right? But it ain't, because he did fist bumps and all that with Condit, and Condit smashed his face out, and yet he still did fist bumps and everything with him. But with this bloke, honestly, he asked him a question, he gave him a little bit of a wee dance, went, yeah, congratulations, and he literally ran off. Didn't like it. Might have had someone in his ear telling him, might have, but didn't like it. Didn't like the way he treated him.
You're talking about Dan Hardy, just sort
of Grease.
Asked him maybe there was an ad break. Maybe there was a break.
How about I might have wanted to say thanks to my coaches and all that. Didn't get a chance. Crap.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Listen, it looked off. That's what I'm saying. It looked like he sort of had the attitude of, well, I ain't listening to any more of this crap. That's what he looked like. Yeah. And the Gizzer probably didn't want to see his Grease anymore either. Next fight.
That's true, yeah.
Here's a nickname for you. Do you remember his nickname? Charles Jourdain. See if you can guess his nickname. It's so run on the mill. It's based on the last name.
Jourdain.
Yeah, that's better.
He should call himself Air.
Well, that's his nickname.
Is it?
I ain't joking. His name is Charles Air Jourdain.
It's not bad. I quite like it.
Yeah.
I quite like it. I mean, I didn't think he was called Air Jourdain. I thought you were going to say, because his name, is Jourdain, he was probably going to be called the Jawbreaker or, something like that. But, yeah, I think Air Jourdain's quite good.
Yeah. He's from Canada, 10-3 versus Josh Culibao from Australia, 8-1. I think they said he trains with, what's his name? Volkanovski bloke. So, should be quite good, I suppose. Favourite was Jourdain, and it was a draw, this fight. But I thought Jourdain won this. I didn't really understand the decision.
Some really funky scoring, weren't there? Because I think it was 30-20 Jourdain. Al should have got the first round, right? I mean, he sort of almost had, he really rocked him really bad in the first round. So we had the first round?
Yeah.
So Jourdain is one round down now, yeah? That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
And then to me, I actually thought Culibao was winning that second round, but Jourdain secured the takedown towards the end. Decent bit of ground and pound off, so probably nicked that second round. Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I thought we did, yeah.
Yeah, and then in the third round, it was a Jourdain round.
It was clear, yeah.
So, yeah, the only thing that, if you like, was contentious round-wise was round 2, because you might argue, well, did Culibao control enough or do enough in the early start of the round? Because he was definitely, winning, only edging it, but edging, I think, the striking at the start of the second round. Did he do enough there to negate the takedown and the ground? I would say no, because, the takedown and pound, was, what was it? It was for a reasonable amount of time, and he was getting off a decent amount of shots, nothing that looked like fight ending, but enough to make me go, yeah, he probably nicked that round. So to me, it was just a 29-28. But you had one judge scored it 30-27 for Jourdain, one judge scored it 29-28 for Culibao, so I'm assuming they gave him round 1 and round 2. And then the other gave it 28-28, I believe. Is that right? Which means that he probably gave Culibao round 1 and 2, but gave Jourdain a 10-8 in round 3. Something like that. I don't know. It's all over the shop. I had no problem with a draw. If I was scoring it, I probably would have skimmed it just about for Jourdain. But it weren't a fight I particularly enjoyed. And it weren't a fight that, I don't know. It weren't a fight that I don't think anyone could feel hard done by about not getting the nod. Let's put it like that. Don't leave it in the hands of the judges, that kind of thing. I think Jourdain made some good adjustments, but didn't do anything He did. He won round 3 decisively enough, and he made some adjustments from round 2 to nick it. He'd say, in a way, he done good after having a pretty bad opening round. But
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
I agree.
I just went off. It was a draw.
Kind of the draw sums up the fight, doesn't it? Right? Because even though it's a bit of a weird fight, because a lot went on in it, but for some reason, it just weren't good. You know, I was bored. And I was like, well, why am I bored? This fight is actually all right. There's quite a bit going on. But it just didn't grab me. The draw is it's kind of like, yeah, well, that's what you get, guys, for giving me a fight like this. But I've got things to say about it. Things I noticed. First off, Jourdain jumping knee introduction while he was getting Martinez. He did a jumping knee. I think maybe to prove he's got a bit of air. I mean, it was like his special move. You know, he's like, bang! And it was not that special. It was quite funny. I'd say Herzog had a good bod.
I noticed that, yeah. I mean, he looked like a Ken doll out of, Barbie and Ken.
He looked good,
like
didn't he? He looked all powers. Everything looked good. The barnet, the skin, the muscle business.
No waist. Yeah, no waist. He looked a little bit like the film American Psycho with Bale, where they all, like you just said there, they've all got perfect hair, perfect skins. He
looked amazing.
Investment. Yeah, he looked like an investment for American Psycho.
So he looked qual. Couldn't believe it. Culibao's got Capri Suns.
Yep, I noticed that. Now, for anyone who don't know, Capri Suns is basically little bags of fat around your hip area.
Witter Suns is another word for them.
Yeah, but I was actually going to say to you, there's one thing I forgot to bring up right at the start is he strikes me as someone who went to an MMA gym to lose weight and, I'll do an English saying on it, took to it like a duck to water. And he is where he is now because of that.
Yeah.
But that's what it looked like to me. He looked like his physique and stuff. That looks to me like he's an ex sofa face stuffer who decided one day, I don't want to break my sofa.
Is there something wrong with is there something wrong with a sofa face stuffer? I mean, is there something wrong with those people?
Now he's being hypersensitive. I never said there is, did I? I just said that's what he strikes.
If you listen to the way it was said.
Stuff his face on the sofa, and now he's decided to get up and go out and train. And he took to it like a duck to water. So now he's being sensitive. No.
The way that was, so he's water so he can float with his Capri Suns, Witter sides. Is that what you're saying when he gets in?
No.
Like little armbands.
Do you remember you calling Aspar lard legs?
Okay, so anyway, I've got a bit more to say about the fight.
Exactly.
The jelly. Okay. Now then, I noticed in round 2...
There's a couple more jellies later on tonight.
There is, yeah. Roque's brother. And Dana White, he got up and walked out in round 2 to sort his skids out, no doubt. Saw it.
You noticed that, did you?
Yeah, because he weren't long. Right? He saw him walk out all big. all hunched over and all big.
Didn't he, at the moment?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Walked out. Some bloke opened the door for him, like, here you go, boss. Yeah, and not long later, he come back out. It don't take long to just do a quick.
Well, Dana White don't open his own doors.
No, he didn't. No, someone opened the door for him. 100%. I think it was Long Streak of Ingers.
Or something. Huh?
I think it was him that done it. Long Streak of Ingers. But we've agreed it.
Dana's getting the bigger he's getting, the redder he's getting.
Well, yeah, because you need blood to go round that stuff, don't you?
Yeah. But if he carries on getting much bigger, he's going to end up being scarlet coloured. Looks like he's about ready to pop. But he looks good, though.
I think he does as well. Good. Looks amazing. So that fight should have been good, and it weren't. I don't know why. So we get on to the next fight, which is the featured prelim. And understandably,
on that last fight.
Oh yeah, sorry, mate. Have you got more to say? Have you?
It's one of those fights. Well, it's just one of those fights that it's almost never existed. As in, I don't think anyone will want a rematch to clarify who's better. I don't think either of their stocks improved. I don't think anybody is now any more or less sort of in the camp of Culibao's amazing or Jourdain's amazing. It's just a fight that essentially never happened, apart from the fact that they both probably got about 20 G's performance or 15 G's performance money, which is, obviously wicked for them, especially in the time ring. But it's just a fight that, for all intents and purposes, never existed.
I know what you're saying. You're basically saying that this is supposed to all be about levitating yourself, getting yourself somewhere, cementing your position in the division, etc. But it did nothing for either bloke, did it? It didn't make him any more famous. Didn't put him anywhere.
Yeah.
Probably me and you are the only ones talking about it without being crap.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that, if you like, that they will have gained is more experience, more octagon time, and a couple of those in their bank accounts, which is all valuable stuff. But I'm just saying, in regards to sort of anything outside of what you expect,
outside of personal achievements,
it's just like a fight that kind of like doesn't really register on anything. I'm sure if you went up to Dana White this morning and went to him, so Charles Jourdain, what do you reckon? He'd probably go, "What are you talking about, kid?"
Well,
what are you talking about, kid? What are you talking about, kid? Now open the door for me.
Yeah, exactly. I just told you when. Well, I'm guessing it was the toilet. I told you, got up in round 2.
Exactly. Yeah, he didn't even watch it himself. So there you go.
So there you go. So even he was like, "Yeah, ain't out doing here." Look, obviously we've agreed it. It's natural, right? At some point, if he's going to be sitting there all that time, he's going to have to sort out the skids. So
listen, if he wants to prove that he didn't have skid marks and he didn't leave in round 2 to sort out his skid marks, send us a photo of the inner gusset lining of your pants from that show.
That's all you have to do.
Simple as that.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, put the rumours to bed.
Yeah, but we know. So, featured prelim, and understandably so, right? Because got one of our favourite blokes on it, and one of our worst. So it's quite a good, if you're talking about...
McGee ain't one of the worst.
He is. This is crap, this, right? I remember when I smashed in Magny, it was, Magny's all right. And yet you always smash Magny in. You always smash McGee in, and I agree.
Magny's all right.
No,
I think
he's one of the worst. Slow, plodding, run-of-the-mill crap.
No.
Terrible. You like Cummings and all, don't you? Oh,
about Magny, we were one of his biggest fans on the Ultimate Fight show. We were like, he should win it. He's the best
Ultimate Fighter, I agree with that.
And all that. So that one's a little bit peculiar. Court McGee, by the way, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm a fan of Court McGee. As outside of the usual things of, I rate anyone who gets in there, and especially people like him who are fought 2 rounds with a broken nose. You can't.
I don't care about that. That's what he proves in every fight, that he's got grit and he's tough.
Yeah, but what
good.
I'm saying is what I'm saying is that means something, right? That shows.
Yeah, no worries. That's his best attribute. Great.
Yeah. I agree. But what I'm saying is that just means,
I think he's crap.
Hang on, there's someone on this card I think I'm going to smash later. I'll wait to smash him.
Flat-footed.
Flat-footed, slow. Well, the most frustrating thing for me is just hasn't seemed to improve in the last 5 years or so.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I haven't even said what it is. It's Carlos, the natural-born killer, Condit, versus Colt, the crusher, McGee. And I couldn't believe when it came up, the favourite was McGee, even though he's shoosed. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you why.
Bloody like 500 quid on that.
I agree with you, but I think the reason for it is that Condit was on a 5-fight losing streak. That's a lot.
Yeah, I know that.
Still be in it. And I even heard Dana White say he can do whatever he wants. Condit, he's brilliant. We're one of the best, whatever. So
so we've agreed before. If you've got a certain fighting style, or you're a bit more of a company man, all those things, you will get a longer leash than, say, someone who's not. Can't think of anyone off the top of my head. But the thing is, as well, he also lost a couple. Then he retired, didn't he, for a while? And then he decided, done the run-of-the-mill thing of, I can't find anything else to do, so I'm going to come back.
He did do that.
So yeah, those five defeats, they don't seem as consecutive as if he was getting smashed out, every 2 months. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of a
course.
Big gap in between. Says my friend.
The gap
when he was by Damian Maia and all that, I was like, "What is wrong with this guy? He can't do anything anymore."
Well, you're right about the gap was one where, like you say, he sort of couldn't really get the fights, the right sort of fight, so he kind of stepped away for a bit. But more recently than that, I don't know how recent, but I'm saying after that, he had to have surgery on his eye. He had a smashed out retina, a torn retina or whatever, which he got in training through rolling and getting kicked in the face while rolling. So he said, if I didn't get that sorted out, He 100%. He was told he would lose his sight, so he's like, I had to get that fixed. So that's another reason why there's been a delay in him coming back. So he did want to come back earlier. Hold on. Hang on. So, anyway, so he did want to come back to fighting earlier, but he had something to sort out, and quite a serious thing to sort out as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, understandable. I mean, amazing that he's still coming back and having fights with that, even if someone says, look, it's all sorted now, don't worry. How can that not linger in your subconscious somewhere that, this, that I have a potential,
I mean, I agree.
To my eye that could cost me my sight. I mean, that is.
I think I would have banned it.
Shows the mindset of these guys. Yeah, especially when you had a successful career like him. You don't really need to come back and fight.
But it's successful
financially.
Yeah, exactly. It might not be successful financially, mightn't it? Which means he's got to still do it. If he don't know, ain't got nothing, not nothing better to do, but nothing he's better at. Nothing he can instantly make money from as he can with fighting. So, and like you say, it's a mindset thing, right? He obviously thinks he can blaze gizzards and still do well. And he's got his reasons why he didn't do well before that in his own mind. But before we get into the fight, there was another mistake. It's quite an interesting one. So Mark Goddard was the ref. This time, the mistake was by Brendan Fitzgerald, who said it was Goddard's first time in the octagon that night. Well, I've just told you. It might have come up on the screen that it was Sataki, but he was the ref in the Lookboonmee fight. So Fitzgerald got it wrong. First time. So he needs having a word with. First time he's been on the card tonight. No, it ain't.
Well, I mean, I'd have to go back and rewatch it. I'm not doubting your
Whoa.
I just said I'm not doubting your credibility. I just, it's good to do your own research on things, rather than being led by others.
You trust Fitzgerald over me? No worries.
No, I do trust you. And like say,
you just said you have to go back and rewatch it.
I still trust you, though. I still think you agree. I ain't doubting your word. I just want to see it. The text. All
right. Yeah. Well, now that's good. If it's out of interest, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, anyway, that was a mistake.
You're being hypersensitive again for the third time. Being a big baby over nothing.
Wasn't over nothing.
Would you be big?
Supposed to be a professional gig and all that stuff coming up at the end with executive producers, this, that, and the other, and all that. And the truth is, they could do better.
Well, let's be honest, right? You've got typing mistakes everywhere about referees and whatnot.
Yeah.
You got your main commentator who's doing in-cage interviews. Looks like he's just drenched his hair in a pound of lard. I
tell you, I can't. What's the wrestling film with Stallone in? It's old.
Wrestling film with Stallone.
All right, I can't remember the name of the film. I can't help it because we don't plan any of this, right? There's a film about wrestling, and it's a Stallone. It's a real old one, and in that, he says to a bloke in a bar. I remember the line. To smash him in, he says, "You comb your hair with a pork chop," and that's what Dan Hardy did.
Yeah, only one side of his hair with a pork chop, though.
Right. So Stallone knows. Stallone knows that happens.
That is what it looked like.
Did.
But so yeah, okay. Someone else has made a mistake. Let's leave it at that. But with regards to this fight,
Condit won by unanimous decision.
That's right. With regards to this fight, though, I didn't like Condit's performance.
He was very bad in round one. He got better as the fight went on.
He definitely got way better. In round one, he looked old, as in he looked like his timing, his reflexes, and everything was so off that I can't remember what fighter it was, but there was a fighter. I mean, if you want to take one example, Sugar Ray Leonard, when he sort of came back and he fought Terry Norris, and everything was just, noticeably that bit slower, that bit off. Getting hit with punches you wouldn't get hit with before. And it was frustrating to watch. And even though Terry Norris was, a great fighter as well, but it was just you could just watch, and he was just noticeably slower. And that's what I thought with Condit in that first round. I was like, just the timing is off. He's throwing the wrong strikes at the wrong time. He's leaving his chin up in the air and kind of turning away from shots. And I'm like,
it was really weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, he looked like a novice,
Did.
to be honest. And
No,
like I say, definitely warmed up in rounds 2 and 3. His punches started to have a bit more snap. They looked a little bit more dangerous, and his timing was a bit better. His chin wasn't as in the air as much, or he was judging his range a lot better. But I still weren't that happy with his performance. Where I was like, I was kind of hoping that I'd get a performance.
You weren't happy with his performance. Listen to that.
Yeah.
Listen to that.
I'm not allowed to say that. But you haven't let me finish what I was going to say. So I wasn't happy with his performance, as in I wanted to see something that made me think this is going to be the rebirth of Condit, or the second sort of, if you like, stage of his career where he's going to go off. I don't think he'll ever be a top 5 again, but I did think, where maybe he'll get in the top 10, have a few good smashes with some, some of the good fellas, beat a few, maybe lose to a few.
What? Liotta and De Niro?
What did I say that made you think that Liotta and De Niro?
He's going to have smash with some of the good fellas.
Yeah, well, as long as he don't have to have a smash with Pesci, it'll be all right.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But, yeah, that's what I was hoping for. And that's what I mean. I just didn't see that. It just made me think, it made me think like a fight against Cerrone. we're talking about Cerrone, how many, obviously they won't, because he trains at the BMF ranch and stuff, but that would have been a perfect sort of a fight, where it's like 2 real top, wicked, amazing, real fights, blokes who are sort of on that same path on their career. And having
What's that path? The path where you're not happy with their performance, that path?
No, just the sort of the home leg, so to speak. The home straight.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. Why is that? Why is that? Again, you're being hypersensitive. Why is that?
I'm not being hypersensitive. I'm not bothered whether you're happy or not, but I know he's listening.
Yeah, okay.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Have you forgotten that he's listening?
Why do you think he'd have a problem with what I said?
He won.
What have I said that's been that bad?
He won. His eyes are smashed in.
What are you going to say to Court McGee next time you see him?
Well, I've just told him he's listening as well. He knows what I think.
Yeah,
I didn't forget that he was listening.
Yeah, you said he was shoosed, which is your version of basically saying he's,
Yeah, scat.
Yeah, not very good. So you don't care that he fought with a broken nose. You can.
I'm not finished with him.
Well, I hadn't finished with Condit, and I actually said loads of nice stuff about Condit.
You did.
I just said I was hoping it would be like a rebirth, and it didn't feel like it. Just felt like that kind of was his level at the moment. That he's kind of got to fight people around that level, which is, not who he was. Whatever 5 years ago, he was one of the real elite top guys. So you can't expect him to have the top forever, can you? So
I mean,
maybe have a rematch with Lawler. Brilliant idea.
It's not a bad one. I mean, he should have blazed. I know he beat Court McGee. I mean, it wasn't. He definitely won that fight, but I don't know. He should have beat him more than he even beat him. Just the things I noticed in this fight. McGee's got no crack.
Right.
Nothing. He should not have worn them painted shorts. See, maybe that's all they had out the back and went, look, we've only got these. It's like them. You remember you bought me those swimming trunks, right?
Yep.
You can keep telling me they're the ones I asked for when you're in the shop, right? But they can't be worn because I've got bigger sides than Billy Barrow.
On the phone to you, describing them all, and they're the ones you picked, and you've never worn them. It's really disrespectful. And just Carlos Felipe had no crack either later on in the card.
Correct. Zero.
So while we're talking about no cracks, let's get him out of the way and all. So go on, he had no crack.
Right. But I'm just saying, Culibao I've got way worse witter sides than Culibao, right? And I would not wear those swimming shorts that you got me. There's not a chance, right? Yet he chose the painted Valle Tudo skin tighters, or they had nothing left, right? Because the lack of crack was bad. That's that.
Why have you never worn those swimming trunks? What's wrong with that? Yes, but I'm not being nasty here, but okay, did you have a better physique then that you didn't think you had?
Yeah, I had better physique then, than when you bought me them, yeah. Way better.
Okay, so why didn't you pop them on straight away then?
Well, I mean, I never went swimming. That's the first. That's the first problem. Not once, and they were
Seems
never
like
going on.
15
When I saw them, I
quid or
thought, "Let's
something.
forget it. No way. I
Like
ain't
15
wearing
or
them."
20 quid.
Yeah, well, did I not give you the money for them?
I don't know. I don't want the money for them. Don't do stuff like that. I don't care, money or
Hmm.
not. But
I
the
probably
point
did
is,
because you would have bought me more than them swimming trunks. I thought if you'd done a trip for me. You know what I mean,
well, maybe.
but anyway,
I mean,
look, I'm not wearing them. Right?
I spent ages on the phone to you. It really annoys me that you don't wear them.
Well, okay. Well, I'll wear them then, just for
Yeah,
you.
can you wear them at least once? Yeah,
Yes.
just once. Can we go
With
swimming?
pants or without pants? With raw sack in there or?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're the skin tight things, aren't they?
That's what it's supposed to be, isn't it? You're not supposed to wear pants, but I'm just saying the fact I'm not swimming in them, do you still want me to do it with raw, everything in them?
We'll go swimming in them.
No, I don't. There's no swimming. I don't know. Is swimming pools even open? It don't matter if they were. I ain't going swimming. Right. Because then you got to get bod out. No, it's banned, right? No, spots and hairs. Forget it. Not a chance, right? It's finished. Anyway, so he's got no crack, right? Shouldn't have worn them shorts. I think I've got a pretty good theory as why he lost against someone, against Condit, who's, we're not happy with his performance.
Well, what were you going to say there?
No, I was happy with Condit apart from round one. I said round one was ropey, and then he got a bit better.
Okay,
Got his
so
timing.
yes, he lost to Condit. What then?
Right. Okay. Well, hold on. Right. Lost to a poor.
Mate, you're trying to tiptoe around to make me look bad.
No. Right. But it's he had Nijim in his corner. That is like when Frank Mir had McSweeney in his corner. This is what you get.
No.
You saw how Frank Mir
No,
walked out
was
when he
good.
had McSweeney in his corner. You saw it. He walked out with a bucket and a blood face. And you saw, for having Nijim in your corner, how McGee walked out with a nose across his face. That's what you get. That's what you get.
Yeah. Why? What's wrong with Nijim? Yeah, I think he's very good.
Bloody awful. Crap.
Right, but yeah, you got a problem with me saying I wasn't happy with Condit's performance, but you can say Nijim was bloody awful. Crap.
Listen, I've told you. You probably obviously forgot that Condit's listening to it. And if you're happy with telling him that you're not happy with his performance, then fine. Leave it as it is. I was just giving you a little heads up. If you need me to, I'll edit it out. No problem.
There are actually some real improvements Condit can make.
Oh no, right.
Not from me. But I'm not saying I'm just saying as in things that I see him do that I'm like, that's sort of, he shouldn't be doing that, and it's kind of easily rectifiable. And I think he did kind of do him a little bit earlier, before he went on his losing streak. But his chin up in the air. It's kind of like he was throwing a couple of shots, then leaving his chin up in the air because it's almost like he wanted to see, what's going to happen next. Can I sort of twist out the way of a shot and then counter? It's not the way to do it. He's just leaving his chin out to dry a little bit too much for my liking. But
yeah, fair enough. Look,
but I'm being really critical of Condit because
he's good, isn't he? Yeah.
I'd really like him to sort of put it all together and that is weird about him. Did you notice that during his interview afterwards, he kind of looks at the cameraman as if he kind of
does chats and then looks at the camera. Yeah,
he looks at the cameraman and say like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
He's like really weird. It's like really uncomfortable because it's like he doesn't know whether he's supposed to be talking to greasy Dan Hardy or whether he's supposed to be talking to those at home through the camera. So he kind of does it both, where he sort of chats to Hardy and looks at the camera as if to say,
"Did you get that?
Okay?"
Yeah, that one.
It's really weird, but
that was brilliant.
I like Condit though, and I'm not trying to be bum sucking now because I'm scared that he listens to the show and he's going to smash me. Nah, I'm not worried about that at all because he leaves his chin out.
Chin up in the air.
Yeah.
Knew that was coming.
Banging out the left hook.
Well,
don't forget that Dan Hardy did get banged out by with a left hook by him.
He did.
Do you remember?
I
went to that event. I was live at that event. I was in the crowd at that event.
Oh, was you?
Yeah, and I was.
I met Dan Hardy before that event at King's Cross.
I know it's one of my favourite stories. Yeah, met him on the street, didn't
you? And listen, we're fans of the guy now. But we liked him even more then. He was an active fighter. British
Yep.
and all that. It's amazing. And I couldn't believe it when I saw him. So I run up to him, said hello. And he was brilliant. And I says to him, listen, bit of a tough one next, didn't you? And it was Condit next. Because the truth is, this was a long time ago, right? And we really thought he was good, Condit. Like a really, like you said, one of the top blokes, right?
He wasn't established as one of the top blokes, all working his way up, just being Ellenberger and people like that. So he wasn't like a real top-notch guy at that point, but he was one we knew was grief on the way up.
Yeah,
so,
and I'm not... Look, I don't know who's going to win that fight, but if you ask me, I'd have gone... I think, Hardy's met his match here. I think he's going to get done, right? That's what I would have thought. I ain't saying it to him because, by the way, I don't want to be disrespectful. It's none of my business. I ain't stepping into no cages. Really like the guy, and he was really gracious anyway. If I didn't like him, I wouldn't have chased him up the escalators, right? I think he's brilliant. And so all I said to him was what I thought, which is the truth. You got a bit of a tough one next, didn't you? I mean, I didn't know how to say it, but that was natural.
Yeah,
natural.
I think that's an all right thing to say. If
And
you
he
said
gave
something
me-
stupid, if you said something like stupid, like "Oh, you're going to get knocked out," or something, then I'd have been like, you'd have deserved for him to say, "Go away." But
I did, yeah.
I think it was good. You were just acknowledging that he's facing a tough opponent with, which in it is kind of a little bit of a compliment because then you're fighting the top blokes in the world. You're not fighting some scrub.
This is a serious one, right? And I did say it a little bit sheepishly, to say like, is this all right? But this is what I think. Best answer ever. He just went, I'll be ready. I just went, no worries, yeah, sorted. That's that. I loved it. He meant it. He really did think that or whatever. And look, it was a close fight, right? Either of them could have gone down. It was like a hit for hit sort of thing, wasn't it? Both connected at the same time, and he went down.
A little bit of a Creed Balboa.
It was amazing, the truth,
except for he was just a little bit slower than Creed, or a little bit Balboa, should I say. And he didn't get his left hook in, and Condit did get his left hook in. But my story for that night, I can't really remember that card all too well, because I've been to a few in the UK, but that one I think was one
have you?
where I predicted every fight on that card correctly. And everybody else, Dan Hardy was being sold as, sort of definitely going to win. I think this was during just after he lost the GSP and stuff like that. So he was, still top banana and all that. And I was the only person who went, nah, he's got Aldana when he's got a real tough cookie on his hands here. Yeah. I think, he's going to lose this one. And obviously he did get knocked out. Now I can't remember. I'll have to check quickly, but I can't remember. It was the card where all the British fighters basically lost. And it was up to Bisping at the end in the main event, maybe against Akiyama to turn it round. And I think he did.
He doesn't lose in London.
That's right. He does. He can't. But I think he had a real bad start where he kind of got rocked. But he always gets rocked. I think he got rocked by like Akiyama or something. But he'd done a comeback. I've remembered it right. Bisping beat Akiyama. The rest of the card. Let's see if the other British guys lost. So Maldonado beat James McSweeney. There you go.
Oh, Dan McSweeney.
Spencer Fisher, we used to like him, beat Kurt Warburton. Paul Sass won the Sass angle. He beat Mark Holm.
Triangle, yeah.
Another British guy won. Rob Broughton beat Vinicius Quiros. Gustafsson beat Cyril Diabate. Claude Patrick beat James Wilkes. Do you remember James Wilkes?
Wilkes, I remember, rugby bloke, yeah.
Chet Congo beat Travis Brown. Mike Powell beat John Hathaway, my mate, John Hathaway.
That's right. He is your mate. You interviewed him.
That's right. Carlos Condit. No, I met him at Game, didn't I?
Oh, who was the ones you interviewed? You interviewed Ross Pearson and Andre Winner.
And it was more than that. It was.
There was more than that. Oh, hang on. The one who got locked up.
Yeah. The Liverpudlian fella. What's his name?
Paul Kelly or Paul Taylor? One of them.
Paul Kelly.
It
wasn't Paul Taylor. Yeah, it's Paul Kelly and Nika Shipchak as well.
Yeah. Length bloke.
Yeah, I liked Shipchak.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So yeah, they're the guys I interviewed. But no, that was one where John Hathaway was at Game on Oxford Street, and I turned up just as the event of, and so he was walking out the back, and why I had the guts to do it, I kind of just ran after him and kind of just went, John, or whatever, just before he went out there, and he turned around and he was obviously not what you expect out of a fighter. He was, really well-spoken.
He is
old
posh.
Man,
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah, he's like posh, not well-spoken. Loads of well-spoken, but he was like sort of, oh hello, that kind of thing. And I was like, what? And
Maybe it wasn't his true thing. Maybe he was putting on an Anik, doing a fake voice.
Yeah, he was doing Karen Bryant,
Yeah.
and he just basically, I think I bum sucked him a little bit. So I didn't do what I do on the podcast and said, you point me or you let me down. I didn't do any of those chats. I just
That's
went.
what I'm saying.
I just went. I'll tell you what. It's stupid. It seems stupid now. I said to him, I'd say, John, I'd say best win that British fighters had in the UFC.
What, Sanchez?
Yeah, at that time, because I said when you beat Diego Sanchez, and he was like, "Oh, thanks very much. That's very very kind of you to say so."
What
That
says,
kind of thing.
Basically, just told him what everyone says, what he's been told hundreds of times.
I don't know if lots of people think that.
Yeah, said it on the podcast. Just forget it. God, have your own thing.
Okay, what would you have said to him? What would you have said?
I'd have said,
"Have you got skid marks?"
It's true
exactly.
though, because you don't know what to say when you're caught raw like that.
Yep.
We did it with the bloke in, I don't know where he was, Debenham's Cafe or something like that. Gristle, or whatever his name is.
Ashley Grimshaw, yeah.
Grimshaw, right? Don't really know what to say apart from, I'm going to say something. And I met, what's his name? Chris Eubank before.
Brilliant.
And that was in a hotel, not like the old Hathaway where he turned up for an event. That was where I walked into this hotel lobby, wasn't expecting to see Chris Eubank, but he was just there. So you never really know what to say with these things. So I appreciate that. I don't think I do like that Sanchez thing because you try to be, rather than just go, he's brilliant, you like him, you try to pick out something so you got a bit of knowledge and then you try to say, ooh, that was good when you did that. I mean, it's like when I saw Gustafsson. It depends. I think I'm better at it.
I've tried to wipe that meeting with Gustafsson out of my memory, so I'm a bit annoyed that you've brought it up. I'm annoyed because I made a real mistake with Gustafsson. Go on, what's your mistake?
No, I didn't have a mistake. I think I'm better at it than you. That's what I'm saying.
All right, what did you say to Gustafsson then?
I said my favourite win celebration is yours when you done Manoa and done a front flip and landed on your crack because because it was real. He basically didn't react to it. He was just like, yeah, whatever. Well, you want a photo or what?
No, you know why it was? You know why? It's because he just lost his dad, hadn't he, or something? He'd lost a close relative to him.
And there you go.
And you saying, because you said to him, it's that real, you didn't bring that up, but you said it was a real release of emotion. Because he beat Manoa and he sort of turned around all calm, like Donald Cerrone does.
Yeah, and then he ran into this flip.
Then he bent over and clenched his fist and went, let out a roar. Then he done that terrible bit of gymnastics.
That is brilliant.
And that's why it was a real, like Kevin Kroom, right? It was a real emotion sort of thing.
It's my favourite win pose ever. I love it.
It was, yeah, the scream and all that.
Yeah.
But I was, at the time, I was done by Gustafsson. He's like one of my favourites. I liked everything. I don't even want to tell you what I said. It's just too embarrassing.
I might know, but I can't remember right now. The same way what I said. Now I've reminded you.
Thanks for listening. See you all later. You take care.
No, it's too late now. We need to know. No one's listening anyway, remember, apart from the fighters and the coaches.
It's true, yeah. It's not even that bad. Most people go, so what? But I can't remember. I really hope you win that belt, right? That's all I said. That's embarrassing enough for me, but it's not that weird or terrible to say. But I thought to myself, you ain't made enough of this. So when I shook his hand, I done the double hand method. Where you shake their hand and then you get your other hand and like.
I love it. I love it.
No, afterwards, I just thought
personal.
You know what I mean when you cup their hand.
I know. The presidents do it. It's great. It's great.
That's it. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
It's brilliant. Good one.
I was really embarrassed.
So you're more bothered about your body actions than what you actually said?
Yeah. It didn't matter because 2 minutes later we bumped into John Maguire.
And Zidov.
No, that was somewhere else. That was at the UFC Expo. Yeah, it was Vaughan Lee we met at that one as well. Do you remember Vaughan
yeah,
Lee?
and Pickett.
Yeah, no, that was at the UFC Expo.
Oh, was it? All right, okay. Well, listen,
You've
we've
got
met
more
so
mixed
many. But
up.
look, you're worried about what you said and how you behaved in front of Gustafsson. But Soares.
Yeah,
Ed
that was a bad
Soares.
one.
Yeah, you know, he's a manager of fighters, and you did the run-of-the-mill fist with him in a picture.
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable. It really is.
Hey, look, listen, I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and these are rank up there amongst some of the worst. So that should let you know how boring an existence I've led.
But it is difficult when you can't, if you haven't got anything, if you knew you were going to something, if you bump into this guy, go to a concert, you have a backstage pass, what am I going to ask the guy or chat? You might have a few things in your head, right? Like when we saw, what's his name, Wang Zhangli, Thunderfoot. I didn't ask anything, but I had things in my head. Should I get that opportunity, right? And by the way, obviously I'm a bit more real at that because watch all the films and everything, right? But when you're just raw like that, Expo different, you might bump into a fight, but even then you didn't know it was going to be Gustafsson or Skyscrape and that, you don't know who you're going to get a chance to say something to, do you? You don't know.
Yeah.
So you can't have how many fighters are there and, Soares and how many different people are there where you can go, well, I'll have this ready if I see this guy and I'll have that. It's too difficult. So your Hathaway one is, you don't even dislike that one, but it's understandable when you do raw on the street like that or bump into someone like that you ain't prepared. And by the way, why should you be? We don't prepare when we do this, so no one listens to it, right? But it's raw, it's natural, and sometimes after you go, I could have done better. I should have done this. I should have asked that. As a matter of fact, I'd say that I say that to myself after all of them, all the meetings. I forgot to say this. I should have said that or whatever. You don't, do you? You don't when you're standing there. I think he was all right with Maguire. John Maguire. And is it Tommy, his brother, isn't it?
Yeah, Tommy, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was all right because that was just like, all right. Just just had a bit of a chat with him. That was all right. But difficult. Can be difficult. But there you go. So this fight, it ended up being all right. I've got a couple more things to say apart from, McSweeney and Nijim. I'll ask you a question. See if you know the answer. Do you know anything about Court McGee's past? Maybe some things he used to struggle with. Know anything?
Oof. Well, I mean, I think he can tell me the amount of days he's been sober.
Right.
The thing with that, right, is
Yeah.
I do think stuff like that is good, interesting.
It is.
It's good. It's good to let people know. Look, if you are struggling with something similar, there are people out there who have turned their lives around, been successful. All that it is all good. But I know the point you're making is, it's almost
non-stop, isn't it? And does he like it?
Yeah,
Constantly talking about. Would you want it always brought up? I don't know. Maybe he ain't bothered.
I don't know, but I think he probably would for the same reasons I've just said, right? That it might help, even if it's just one other person. But I know what you mean. It's just like, it's a little bit like how we say in some of the cage interviews afterwards, just follow a set pattern. It's almost like that with McGee. McGee gets in the cage. They talk about his,
addiction.
Addiction.
And they actually say, well documented. They actually say, everyone knows this, but I'm still going to tell you all about it. They even say it, preempt it with that. And it's not all he's about, is it? It shouldn't be anyway.
No, but like I say, maybe there's someone out there who doesn't know, who is, if you
of
like.
Of course, we always say this, right? Yeah, the person who's watching it for the first time don't know. But I don't know if I was him. I think he'd get on my nerves. He don't know though. He can't hear it, can he? Unless he watches the fight back, he doesn't know this.
No, like I say, he probably doesn't want it out there as in for his own personal thing. But like I say, he probably thinks
someone else.
Well, if it helps someone else, it's a good thing. So in that regard, I do think it's good. But yeah, like you say, just because we've watched all these fights in the UFC, we've heard it literally every single time. It's as regular as clockwork, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
it's just before the fight even happens. It's like Well, it's just obvious it's going to be said. You're just waiting for it, and then when they say it, you kind of go, "Oh, I know,
Exactly,
yes,
yeah.
you know, it's over for ages, yeah, blah blah." You know, I know all this. It's just a bit too run of the mill.
Yeah,
bit too run of the mill now. That's all. But you know, like we say, it could have a positive effect on someone. So, what else are they going to? And I greasy air.
You can't always think about what it means to yourself. You've got to, switch off from that and go. Like you said, it could be the first time someone's watching, and it can help someone, which is the main thing. But yeah, it just gets tiring. So for God's sake, bloody Bryant's just said it. Now Fitzgerald's just said it. Anyway, and like I say, it's not his fault. He's just, he's getting his nose plastered across his face on flat feet while it's getting said. Brilliant moment at the end of round one where Condit smashed him with the right hook and knocked him down and stood there staring at him. Liked that. As a good, good real fights moment, as if to say like, yeah, well, I've done you. I ain't walking back to my corner yet. You know what I mean? You walk back to yours. See if you can walk back to yours. It was good. Good moment, that. Enjoyed that. But yeah, that fight was all right, wasn't it?
It was okay. I think by about the third round, it settled into a pretty generic, predictable sort of pattern. I think McGee kind of, started... Because to me, the first round, Condit's timing was off so much that I think McGee was winning that round.
Definitely.
Probably. Up until he got booted in the head. Not booted in the head, until he got knocked down.
Punched down, yeah.
And obviously that undoubtedly made it a Condit round. And it felt to me like the third round was starting to end a little bit like that first round began. Like it felt like he did sort of start getting the timing down a bit.
I agree.
More. And it was one of those things that without that knockdown, I think Condit might have been in a bit of trouble on the scorecards, arguably.
Possible.
So you would have said McGee would have got the first round. You could have made a case for him to get the third round.
Third, yeah.
And so you could have won it 29-28. So that knockdown was the difference, if you like.
And that shows how important having the grit and determination can be, right? Which is what you said. I sort of said it was, crap to have that as your main or your best asset or whatever. But it goes to show how important it is, right? Because over 5 rounds, who knows, yeah? True? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, that fight might have been better over 5 rounds. Looking back at it, it might have been a bit more intriguing. But yeah, as it is, I'm glad to see that Condit snapped that streak. But like I say, it weren't a performance that made me go, yes, he's back. Let's see him in there against, a top 15. I still feel he needs a couple of fights against, some lower tier guys to see whether he can really.
So it's welterweight 170s. You wouldn't want him to go like, it's hard, isn't it? Yeah, well, you've just said anyway, really didn't you? You said bloody Cerrone.
No, not so well. Obviously not because as a team. I no one in the top 15. I wouldn't put him in with anyone in the top 15.
Well, why can't he have a go with McGregor? Because McGregor, he called out Sanchez. Did you know that one?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It's quite comical, really. I mean, I obviously there's a lot of, if you like, posturing. I think I've seen so much since that it's like about, he basically wanted a fight, but they were saying, no, we can't give you a fight where there's no crowds, I guess because he's such a big ticket seller and this, that, and the other, all these different things. He's frustrated with them, blah, blah, blah. Then he said we'll do a chat match with Poirier and all these weird things, trying to use sort of, find some leverage, I guess.
Dana's come back on that Poirier sparring match thing, charity sparring match thing, and said, no worries, if you guys want to fight, then let's not do that. Here's a contract. And Poirier came straight back and accepted, and McGregor hasn't. A normal UFC fight. Yeah, so that could happen.
I don't think it will. Well, I mean, there was all the talk of the Pacquiao fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't
so little interest in that.
No.
I really wish that garbage would go away now. All that sort of, cross fight sort of, cross sport sort of stuff. I'm not interested. I'm interested in boxing and I'm interested in MMA. I'm not interested in morphing the two or anything like that. So it's really annoying for me.
Oh, if you're not interested, then I guess nobody is. So can nobody do it anymore, please? Because he's not interested.
Thanks,
I mean,
yeah.
It ain't all about what just you want.
No, it's not. But I'm generally a voice for the fans.
True. Yeah, because it's natural and you don't put a fake one on.
Yep.
That's what people expect. So, So listen, I'm going to leave it. That's all the prelims done, that. So I think we should do a separate one for the main card.
Yep.
And well, that's it. I've got now else to say. Chatting about it was better than watching it. I think it was better than the actual card. You've kind of made it better because we were talking about no cracks and Sweeneys and nicknames, and so made it more. Silly mistakes made on refs that have already refereed during the night, and it's their first fight of the night, and all that. Spelling, wrong names coming up. What do you think of Sataki's little moves before when he gets, your referee is Kevin Sataki? I know you've noticed it.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice it. So
you haven't?
No.
He does a flick of the ear, a flick of the nose, and then like saying on his chest as well. He's got a couple of. He sort of goes, Kevin Sataki. He does a few moves. So look out!
I'm sure it means something to somebody, but
look out for it.
Don't mean anything to me.
You didn't even notice. Right.
What about someone like Brian Barberina for Condit next?
Oh, you're well out of order. Okay. I mean, you really think Condit's that crap now? It's bad enough that you had McGee, and McGee was a favourite. Do me a favour. No.
I think that's a decent matchup.
Look.
It's
the same fight.
Waller,
same fight.
Maybe Mike Perry.
We've just had that matchup. Court McGee and Condit.
Nico Price.
That's quite good.
There's a few guys around that sort of.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm going Wonder Boy.
The what? Top 5 bloke.
Yeah. Of course, Condit's amazing. Stop being out of order. He's just had McGee, and now you're giving him another McGee. Barberina's the same. He looks the same and fights the same. Crap. Out of order is the truth. Right.
Bilal Muhammad. It's not a bad one, is it? It's quite fun. I don't know where he trains that, but yeah.
Is he 170, Bilal Muhammad? He looks, in my mind, he looks so small compared to Condit.
Yeah,
he's muscly. Oh, blimey. Yeah, that's quite good, yeah. Because he's a good up-and-comer, isn't he? Yeah, that's quite a good one. What about the other bloke? The Vicente Luque?
No, too high.
Oh, fuck. You're well out of order. Let's just hope he's not listening. That's all I'm going to say. Right, I'll see you. Listen, I'll see you for the main card chat. All right?
Yep, all right.
Thanks very much for that, for making that card better than actually physically watching it. Appreciate it. Thanks very much. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.